The political world was set ablaze when former President Donald Trump unleashed a blistering attack on Florida Governor Ron DeSantis during a rally in Tampa, Florida. In front of a packed crowd of enthusiastic supporters, Trump labeled DeSantis a total fraud, igniting a firestorm of controversy within the Republican Party. The rally, part of Trump's ongoing campaign-style events to consolidate his grip on the GOP, started like many others, with roaring chants of USA and Trump 2024. However, the tone shifted dramatically when Trump began addressing potential rivals for the Republican nomination, particularly DeSantis, who has been increasingly viewed as a potential challenger to Trump's dominance in the party. They call him Ron DeSanctimonious, and you know what? It fits perfectly, Trump said, his voice dripping with disdain. This guy wouldn't even be governor if it weren't for me. I endorsed him when nobody else wanted to, and now he's acting like he's the king of Florida. What a joke! The crowd erupted into boos and cheers, with some visibly shocked by the directness of Trump's attack. Others chanted, "Trump! Trump!" as the former president continued his tirade. He's a total fraud, folks. A complete phony. Talks big about freedom, but behind the scenes, he's as establishment as they come, Trump declared. Trump accused DeSantis of secretly working with the swamp in Washington, D.C., claiming that the Florida governor is quietly aligning himself with globalist donors and plotting a presidential bid behind Trump's back. He's got big donors, folks, the kind that hate you and me. He's playing a game, but I see right through it, Trump said, pointing an accusatory finger. The rally crowd, a mix of die-hard Trump loyalists and DeSantis supporters, appeared divided. While many roared in agreement with Trump's remarks, others looked uncomfortable or remained silent. "I like DeSantis, but Trump is our guy," one attendee said. "This feels like a family fight, and it's tough to watch." DeSantis has so far avoided directly responding to Trump's criticisms, opting instead to focus on governing Florida and touting his accomplishments. However, Trump's escalating rhetoric is putting pressure on the governor to address the attacks head-on. Political analysts have noted that DeSantis is walking a fine line, attempting to maintain support from Trump's base while carving out his own path. Trump wasn't done. He dug into DeSantis's handling of COVID-19, an issue the Florida governor has often touted as a success. He talks about how great he did with the pandemic, but let me tell you, he shut down Florida just like the rest of them. "Don't let him fool you," Trump said, drawing gasps from the crowd. The attack on DeSantis marks a significant escalation in tensions between the two Republican heavyweights. While Trump has hinted at his disdain for DeSantis in the past, this is the first time he has publicly gone after the Florida governor so aggressively. The timing, coming as speculation about the 2024 presidential race heats up, suggests that Trump sees DeSantis as a legitimate threat to his bid for the GOP nomination. The media frenzy following Trump's remarks has been intense, with political commentators debating the potential fallout. "This is Trump staking his claim to the Republican Party," said one analyst. "He's sending a message that there's no room for challengers, not even someone as popular as DeSantis." Supporters of DeSantis, however, have pushed back against Trump's claims. "Governor DeSantis has delivered results for Florida and stands on his record," said a spokesperson for DeSantis. "He's focused on serving the people of Florida, not engaging in petty political squabbles." Social media has erupted with reactions to Trump's comments. Hashtags like #Trump vs. DeSantis and #GOP Civil War are trending, with users passionately debating who is the true leader of the Republican Party. Memes and parody videos depicting Trump and DeSantis as dueling gladiators have gone viral. Conservative influencers and commentators are also divided. Some have sided with Trump, arguing that his leadership is unmatched and that DeSantis should stay in his lane. Others have criticized Trump for attacking a fellow Republican, warning that such infighting could weaken the party ahead of the 2024 election. Late-night comedians have wasted no time turning the feud into comedic fodder. One joked, "Trump and DeSantis fighting is like watching the Hulk wrestle Captain America, except one of them keeps calling the other a fraud." The clash between Trump and DeSantis has also raised questions about the future of the Republican Party. While Trump remains the undisputed leader among the party's base, DeSantis has emerged as a rising star with significant appeal to both traditional conservatives and Trump loyalists. The escalating feud threatens to split the party at a time when Republicans are eager to unite against President Joe Biden. Trump ended his rant with a familiar refrain, doubling down on his claim that he alone can save the country. "Nobody's done more for this party or this country than me. I made Ron, and I can break him," Trump declared to thunderous applause. For now, DeSantis has remained silent, but political insiders suggest that he may not be able to avoid addressing the attacks for much longer. Trump is forcing DeSantis to choose, either fight back or risk being defined by Trump's narrative, said one Republican strategist. The feud has also sparked discussions among donors and GOP operatives, many of whom are reportedly uneasy about the potential for a prolonged and bitter primary battle. "This isn't good for the party," said one major donor. "We need to focus on defeating the Democrats, not tearing each other apart." As the story continues to dominate headlines, it's clear that the Trump-DeSantis rivalry is far from over. With both figures vying for the spotlight and the loyalty of Republican voters, the stage is set for a high-stakes showdown that could shape the future of the GOP. Stay tuned, because in the unpredictable world of American politics, this feud promises to deliver even more drama, twists, and headlines in the months ahead. Whether Trump's attacks will diminish DeSantis's rising star or backfire remains to be seen, but one thing is certain: the Republican Party is in for a wild ride. The fallout from Donald Trump's fiery remarks about Ron DeSantis at the Tampa rally has sent shockwaves through the Republican Party, creating a clear divide between loyalists of the former president and supporters of the Florida governor. The escalating feud between these two GOP heavyweights has left many Republicans grappling with tough questions about the future of their party. Within hours of Trump's rally, conservative media was flooded with coverage dissecting the implications of the attack. Some commentators saw Trump's remarks as a calculated move to reassert his dominance over the GOP, while others argued it reflected a sense of insecurity about DeSantis's rising popularity. "Trump doesn't attack people unless he sees them as a threat," said one political analyst. DeSantis has remained notably silent in the wake of Trump's remarks, but insiders suggest that the Florida governor is carefully strategizing his next move. "He knows better than to take the bait right now," said one advisor close to DeSantis. "But at some point, he'll have to respond, especially if Trump continues these attacks." The split within the GOP has already begun to manifest in public forums. On social media, Trump loyalists have rallied behind the former president, arguing that he is the only leader capable of carrying the party to victory in 2024. "DeSantis is great for Florida, but Trump built this movement," one user wrote. "He's the leader we need." DeSantis supporters, however, have pushed back, framing their candidate as a more disciplined and forward-thinking leader who can unite the party and win over moderates. "Trump had his time, but we need someone who can actually govern," one commenter argued. DeSantis is the future. The feud has also spilled into conservative donor circles, with many wealthy backers reportedly caught in the middle. Some donors who had initially supported Trump are now expressing interest in DeSantis, citing concerns about Trump's unpredictability and the controversies surrounding his presidency. "DeSantis has the policies without the baggage," said one major GOP donor. Others, however, remain fiercely loyal to Trump, arguing that his charisma and connection with the Republican base are unmatched. "Trump is the heart and soul of the GOP," said a longtime donor. "Without him, this party would crumble." The clash has also sparked debates among Republican lawmakers, many of whom are trying to avoid taking sides in the feud. "It's like walking a tightrope," said one Republican senator. "You don't want to alienate Trump, but you also don't want to ignore the momentum DeSantis is building." Behind closed doors, party leaders are reportedly scrambling to contain the fallout, fearing that a prolonged battle between Trump and DeSantis could fracture the GOP and jeopardize their chances in 2024. "This kind of infighting is a gift to the Democrats," said one Republican strategist. "We need to find a way to unify, and fast." The feud has also raised broader questions about the identity and direction of the Republican Party. While Trump has championed a populist, outsider approach, DeSantis represents a more traditional, policy-focused conservatism. The tension between these two visions has created a deep divide within the party. For Trump, the attacks on DeSantis are part of a broader strategy to reassert his dominance over the GOP. At the Tampa rally, Trump repeatedly emphasized his role in shaping the modern Republican Party, reminding the audience of his achievements during his presidency. "Nobody's done more for this country than me," Trump declared. "And I'm not done yet." DeSantis, by contrast, has sought to position himself as a leader who can deliver results without the drama that often surrounds Trump. His supporters point to his handling of issues like COVID-19, education, and immigration as evidence of his effectiveness as a governor. "Ron DeSantis gets things done," said one supporter. "He's the real deal." The clash between Trump and DeSantis has also become a talking point for Democrats, who are watching the feud with a mix of amusement and strategic calculation. Some Democratic operatives have suggested that the GOP's internal divisions could weaken their ability to mount a strong challenge in 2024. Others, however, caution that a bitter primary battle could ultimately energize Republican voters and produce a stronger nominee. "This could go either way," said one Democratic strategist. "If Trump and DeSantis tear each other apart, it helps us. But if they figure out how to unify, watch out." The media has seized on the feud as a major storyline heading into the 2024 election cycle. Cable news networks have dedicated entire segments to analyzing the dynamics between Trump and DeSantis, with some predicting that the rivalry will dominate the Republican primaries. Late-night comedians have also joined in, with one host joking, "The Republican Party is like a family reunion where two uncles are fighting over who gets to carve the turkey." Spoiler: it's going to be messy. The Trump-DeSantis feud has even begun to affect the mood among Republican voters. While many remain loyal to Trump, there is growing interest in DeSantis as a potential alternative. A recent poll found that 45% of GOP voters prefer Trump as the party's nominee, while 35% support DeSantis, a significant shift from earlier in the year. For younger conservatives, the feud has sparked discussions about the future of the party. Many see DeSantis as a bridge between the populist energy of Trumpism and a more pragmatic approach to governance. "We love Trump, but it's time to pass the torch," said one college Republican. Despite the growing tension, some Republicans are holding out hope that Trump and DeSantis can find a way to work together. "We need both of them," said one party official. "Trump brings the energy, and DeSantis brings the policy expertise. Together, they'd be unstoppable." As the feud continues to play out, both Trump and DeSantis are doubling down on their respective strategies. Trump has ramped up his attacks, using social media and public appearances to paint DeSantis as disloyal and out of touch with the party's base. DeSantis, meanwhile, has focused on his record as governor, avoiding direct confrontations with Trump while building his national profile. The clash has also drawn attention to the broader challenges facing the Republican Party as it navigates a post-Trump era. While Trump remains the most influential figure in the GOP, the growing support for DeSantis suggests that many Republicans are eager for a new leader who can carry the party's agenda forward. For now, the Trump-DeSantis rivalry remains the defining story of the Republican Party's road to 2024. With both men vying for the loyalty of the GOP base, the stage is set for a high-stakes battle that could shape the future of the party, and the country, for years to come. Stay tuned, because this is just the beginning. Whether Trump's fiery rhetoric will cement his dominance or pave the way for DeSantis to rise remains to be seen, but one thing is certain: the fight for the soul of the Republican Party is far from over. As the feud between Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis continues to escalate, the Republican Party finds itself increasingly divided over which figure represents its future. Trump's fiery rhetoric at the Tampa rally has not only deepened the rift but also placed the GOP at a crossroads, forcing members to choose between loyalty to the former president and support for the rising Florida governor. Within conservative circles, the debate has reached a fever pitch. Trump's most loyal supporters argue that his unmatched ability to energize the Republican base makes him the only viable candidate for 2024. "Trump built this movement from the ground up," said one MAGA activist. "He's the only one who can carry it forward." On the other side, DeSantis's backers contend that his disciplined leadership style and policy achievements make him a stronger contender in a general election. DeSantis is Trump without the drama, said a Florida-based GOP strategist. He can win back suburban voters while keeping the base energized. The confrontation has also led to growing unease among Republican lawmakers, many of whom are wary of openly taking sides. While some have publicly reaffirmed their allegiance to Trump, others are quietly signaling their support for DeSantis, viewing him as a less polarizing figure who can broaden the party's appeal. In private, however, the tension is palpable. According to insiders, party leaders are scrambling to prevent the feud from spiraling out of control. "This is a nightmare scenario," said one senior GOP official. "The last thing we need is a civil war heading into 2024. The split is particularly evident among Republican donors, many of whom are expressing concerns about the potential for a bitter primary fight. While some major contributors remain steadfast in their support for Trump, others are reportedly exploring ways to back DeSantis without alienating the former president's base. At the grassroots level, the division is just as pronounced. Trump rallies continue to draw massive crowds of loyal supporters, many of whom view DeSantis's rise as a threat to Trump's legacy. "Ron should know better than to bite the hand that fed him," said one rally attendee. "Trump made him, and now he wants to take him down? It's disrespectful." DeSantis's supporters, however, see things differently. "Trump needs to step aside and let someone else lead," said a volunteer at a DeSantis event in Orlando. "We're grateful for what he's done, but it's time for a new chapter." The media has eagerly seized on the drama, with headlines proclaiming a GOP civil war and speculation swirling about how the feud will play out. Cable news networks have devoted extensive airtime to analyzing the dynamics between Trump and DeSantis, with some suggesting that the rivalry could define the 2024 election. Social media, too, has been a hotbed of activity, with hashtags like hashtag Trump vs. DeSantis and hashtag GOP showdown trending across platforms. Memes comparing the two figures as rival superheroes or dueling wrestlers have gone viral, highlighting the spectacle-like nature of the feud. Even late-night comedians have jumped into the fray, with one host quipping, "Trump calling DeSantis a total fraud is like the pot calling the kettle orange." For Democrats, the feud is both an opportunity and a potential threat. While some strategists believe the infighting could weaken the GOP, others caution that a bruising primary battle could ultimately energize Republican voters and sharpen their eventual nominee. The Trump-DeSantis rivalry has also reignited debates about the identity of the Republican Party. While Trump has championed a populist, outsider approach, DeSantis represents a more traditional brand of conservatism that appeals to party elites and policy wonks. This ideological tension has left the GOP at a crossroads. Trump, for his part, has continued to escalate his attacks on DeSantis. At a subsequent rally in South Carolina, he dismissed the Florida governor as an ungrateful opportunist who is more interested in pleasing the establishment than fighting for the people. DeSantis, however, has remained disciplined, avoiding direct confrontation with Trump while focusing on his record as governor. At a recent press conference, DeSantis touted his achievements in Florida, including tax cuts, education reform, and his handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. "Leadership is about results," he said, "and I'm proud of what we've accomplished here in Florida." Despite his measured approach, DeSantis has faced mounting pressure to respond to Trump's attacks. Some of his allies argue that he needs to stand up to the former president to prove he can handle the rigors of a presidential campaign. "You can't ignore Trump forever," said one Republican strategist. "At some point, you have to hit back." The feud has also exposed generational divides within the Republican Party. While older conservatives tend to favor Trump, younger Republicans are increasingly gravitating toward DeSantis, viewing him as a leader who can modernize the party while staying true to its core principles. For Trump, the stakes are incredibly high. After leaving office under a cloud of controversy, he has worked tirelessly to maintain his grip on the GOP, viewing the 2024 election as an opportunity for redemption. The rise of DeSantis threatens that vision, and Trump's aggressive rhetoric suggests he views the Florida governor as a serious rival. DeSantis, on the other hand, faces the challenge of navigating Trump's attacks without alienating the former president's supporters. DeSantis needs to walk a fine line, said one political analyst. He can't afford to alienate Trump's base, but he also can't afford to let Trump define him. As the rivalry continues to unfold, the Republican Party is bracing for a potentially bitter primary battle. While some believe the competition could strengthen the eventual nominee, others worry it could fracture the party and weaken its chances in the general election. The feud has also raised questions about the role of loyalty in politics. While Trump has repeatedly claimed credit for DeSantis's rise, the Florida governor's supporters argue that his success is due to his own leadership and vision. Trump may have helped DeSantis get elected, but he didn't govern Florida for him, said one DeSantis ally. For now, both Trump and DeSantis appear to be digging in, with neither showing any signs of backing down. Trump has ramped up his attacks in public appearances and on social media, while DeSantis has continued to focus on his record and build his national profile. As the dust begins to settle, one thing is clear. The Trump-DeSantis rivalry is reshaping the Republican Party and setting the stage for one of the most dramatic primary battles in recent memory. With the 2024 election looming, the stakes couldn't be higher. Stay tuned, because in the high-stakes world of American politics, this feud is far from over. Whether Trump can maintain his dominance or DeSantis emerges as the new face of the GOP, the road to 2024 promises to be a roller coaster ride filled with twists, turns, and plenty of drama.